from the podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. It's Grant's Rants Small Talk. Real Housewives of New York City Rundown.
Let the ranting begin. It is time to discuss Season 12, Episode 13 of The Real Housewives of New York City, Not Feeling Jovani. And joining me on this rundown episode is Hollywood Lian. Hello.
Hi, it's my favorite day of the week. Thanks for having me.
Good to hear your voice. Good to have you on. Others will recognize his voice from podcasts that he's been on and has hosted himself. And now he's here to talk about New York. What are your overarching thoughts of this season so far?
You know what? I think everything was going fine until we hit this COVID patch because these audio confessionals are killing me. It's terrible.
I'm slowly
Especially
adjusting.
Luann's.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, I can't.
I'm adjusting. I don't know why. I am adjusting.
You do this for a living. How can you not? It takes me out of it every time.
Well, I get that. It does take me out, but I'm like, okay, like this is, like, if we're going to have the show, this is just how it's going to be. Like, but I mean, yeah, it does remove me from the situation. I mean, some of the shots aren't great. I don't know what she had a new look in this episode with some type of, I don't know what it was, like a bodysuit with the gloves. I mean, I don't know what she was wearing.
That was some serious eyeshadow, going on.
I put it on pause and tried to take it all in, and I was just like, no, I'm sorry. And I like her, but I couldn't accept this look. Sonia is still looking the best, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think she got new teeth. Do you think she got new teeth?
I think she got a little new everything because her confessional COVID at the apartment look is fabulous. The pink looks great on her skin. And you know what, Grant? I'm going to change my mind on this whole perspective on it. I think it's real life and it's what we're dealing with. So I think you're right. This is just what we're just going to have to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all right with it. I mean, it's better than nothing. I'm fine with it. I just wish that they would give these women better mics, but that's another whole thing for another day. But,
yeah, Luann's specifically. Yeah. Luann's is horrible.
Yeah, and maybe don't do it in the biggest room in the house next to a glass window. That's another tip I'll give these women that no one will ever take. So in this episode, Ramona is the target. She's, Tinsley's out. Ramona's in the hot seat. But now all of a sudden, everybody's all fired up that Ramona doesn't behave well. I mean, I don't know what they expect. But, what else? We start with Dorinda at Bluestone Manor calling everybody up. Of course, Sonia's the only one that's ready, available, looking for business. She's got nothing else going on. And Elise, she's now realigning with Sonia. All of a sudden now she's Team Sonia. What do you make of this?
Oh, my God. Well, let me just say about the Dorinda calling everyone. I related to that so much. I mean, she literally went down a list of 5 people and got sent a voicemail by every single one. And if that's not real life, I don't know what is.
True.
And Elise is now growing on me. And I think she's fabulous and pretty. And she's Shannon Doherty's twin or her mom, or maybe it's Shannon Doherty. I don't know. But I don't know. I enjoyed this episode. It's been kind of funky around here lately. And even in the Bravo world, we've had some shakeups, but
yeah,
I think tonight we're finally kind of getting back in the groove.
Yeah, I mean, typical Berkshires, there's going to be a fight every 5 minutes that they're going to make up, and then 2 other people who are sitting in the background of the last fight are now going to turn on each other all of a sudden in the kitchen. That's just kind of how it goes. Kind of how it goes. But what else happened here? So Ramona is thinking that Dorinda is mad that Richard died and that she's just now mourning the loss, which could be. I mean, I don't know if she's mad at Richard. I think maybe she's mad at the universe for the cards that she was dealt. But, I mean, who really knows?
Here's the thing about Ramona. She's been just horrible forever. This is no surprise. And we've been dealing with this Ramona evilness for a long time. But, she's not wrong about Dorinda. She's not wrong. There is some projection there. There is some issues there. There's no accountability. There's anger. There's aggression. But also, pot calling the kettle black, because Ramona's a whole type of other horrible. And I actually prefer Dorinda's horribleness more, because at least Dorinda has a huge heart she has a heart of gold, and that's the one thing we're not going to take away from Miss Medley, because
I think we can
I've
see
been
some growth there. I don't think we'll see any
yeah,
growth with Ramona. That's my
I
point of view. I agree.
honestly have talked, a good fair amount of, excuse my language, to about Dorinda on my podcast. It's Bravo Bitch. But I just like at the end of the day, like Dorinda has a heart of gold, and I'm over it. Like I understand why she's lashing out, especially Ramona. Like she needs it. She needs to be in the hot seat. Let's put her in the hot seat.
Right. I agree. It's high time. It really is. We look at the Berkshires. What do you think of the new version of Bluestone Manor? I mean, we had a little bit of a rerun of old moments, flashbacks down memory lane of all the individual rooms and the insanity that happened in all of them. Bethany Frankel rolling around on the carpet naked comes to mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say this was like my favorite part of the episode. This is the part I couldn't wait to really talk about, because I went to the Berkshires last October for a wedding, and it's beautiful and it's tiny. And I was asking people about Dorinda, and I got a little bit of tea on Dorinda and stuff. But, the Berkshires is really gorgeous, but at night, it is so scary. It's terrifying, actually. And there's graveyards everywhere. And it's like your neighbor is a mile away kind of thing. It's kind of freaky. And Dorinda did mention that the house is more awake than ever. And she did mention that she was scared to sleep there before, when she's never said that before.
Yeah.
So I was just getting I was thinking about my own thing. I'm like, this is a whole haunted house. Like, I don't know. I was excited about this part because the behavior, obviously, towards the end of the episode was completely ridiculous. But it was nice to go back to the Berkshires to answer your question. Yeah. Sorry about my rant.
It's a rant's welcome. My experience in the Berkshires is growing up when I was in elementary school. The runner side of my family would go up to the Yankee Candle Factory, and we all had to stay in the same hotel, which was a Motel 6. And I remember even then, at 10 years old, being such a diva and screaming about not wanting to stay there and how bad it was. And my aunt was like, I don't see the problem. What's wrong with it? And I was like, there's no amenities.
It's totally true. I probably stayed at the exact same motel. I think it's a Motel 9 because there's only one there. So I probably stayed at the exact same one. And I felt this same way. And trust me, I went to a beautiful wedding, but that's what's there.
That's what's there. It's true.
Yeah.
It's not the Hamptons. I mean, it really isn't.
It really isn't. And can we mention that Great Barrington is not New York? They're in Massachusetts.
Right.
Great Barrington is in Massachusetts. It's not New York City, and it's 3 hours away. It's a beautiful drive, though. The scenery is gorgeous. And that foliage that Ramona mentioned getting out of the car.
With foliage, Ramona.
Yes, foliage. At one point, I even had the Motel 9 clerk come out and be like, why aren't you going around and looking at the foliage? And I'm like, I can see the foliage.
That's the only time to see it. There's a short window of time. I know people love that. But the new version of Bluestone Manor features a lot of very high gloss paint. I mean, she had a lot of stuff reflecting off the walls, velvet couches everywhere. And did you catch when they were in Hannah's bedroom, they cut to a single shot of a FAO Schwartz nutcracker? I loved it.
It's so classic Dorinda.
Yes, thank you for that, editor.
Half rich, half tchotchke, half dated, half what the F is happening here? Those green glass things above the fireplace in the dining room were horribly disgusting. And then those huge clear vases on top of the dining room table made no sense unless you're featuring something in them. It's weird. But I did like the purple velvet couches. The couches were to die for.
Yeah, they did look nice.
So comfortable.
Nice.
I love the wallpaper in the new fish room, and I like that little scene with Luann before she turned into a mean girl.
Oh, yeah.
I like the whole beginning of the episode, obviously, but
how about you didn't give Dorinda credit for the Nutcracker? One of my favorite all-time scenes. So when they pay homage to that, with that one quick cutaway, I was like, oh, perfect.
The freaking Nutcracker was literally at a time when RHONY was so iconic.
Oh, truly every scene. There was such high stakes because of Bethany Frankel mainly because she was always in
Bethany did not
crisis
give
after
Dorinda a
crisis.
parade.
No. So Ramona brings flowers for peace. She said that life has really cheated her, meeting Dorinda, and Ramona she totally believes in positive energy. Since when? When have you been Miss Positivity, Love and Light, Yoga? Who is this?
She's the same person that she's been this whole time, except the act is getting old. This is the same person that doesn't wear a mask for months and then posts one photo on Instagram wearing a mask, and immediately Dorinda calls her out. Like, don't try to act like you've been wearing a mask this whole time. And I'm here for it. Honestly, I think the whole world is ready for some accountability at every angle, if you know what I'm talking about. And the housewives are included. Like, we're over this. Like, you guys need to. I mean, we're here for the messiness. Have cocktails and laugh and throw shade to each other. But like, even just to jump real quick to the end, like Luann just took it to a whole different level. Like, that was mean. That was mean.
I
And
did
we have to
not
keep
see
it
that
fun.
coming.
We have to keep it fun.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I don't like the meals. Luann definitely has this attitude that comes out. We'll get to. Elise put on Instagram on the way up. She said that she's all fun and games till someone pisses me off. And I'm like, and even at this point in the episode, I'm like, all right, Elise, like, I mean, far worse things have happened on this show. But
Exactly. She's trying to
yeah.
get her apple.
Someone blocked somebody. I didn't care enough to write it down. Ramona, I think, blocked Elise. Who cares? Ramona does not greet her when Elise arrives. Elise is instantly upset that she wasn't invited to Omar's by Ramona after the haunted house, which I was confused. Was this after the haunted house, the Blood Manor, or was this after Luann's Christmas party or Halloween party, I should say? So, what's the timeline?
Ramona's petty, and she unfollowed Elise. She didn't block her; she unfollowed her.
Oh.
But the thing with Ramona is what she's doing to Elise is that she's picking and choosing when she can be in the group and when she can't be in the group, because she is not a friend. She's using her as a buffer. She's using her as an accessory. And when Elise starts to get her own little independence and starts to kind of have an opinion, Ramona shut her out. And she went to a club, Omar's, and Elise went, and Ramona said, "You can't sit here. Like, my girlfriends are sitting here," and she was sitting by herself at the table, at the club table. You're 60 years old at the club, first of all. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all so ridiculous and so petty. But I
don't blame Elise. I'd be just as pissed. I'd say, forget it.
Yeah.
I'm not your show friend when it's convenient for you, and I'm certainly not going to sit alone at a club.
That's what she's doing now. She's like using her as an accessory.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of bringing Elise around. And now it's like, hey, why are you veering off from the plan? Why are you having an opinion?
I think Elise was too quick to forgive. Now, granted, they have to stay in this house and eat all day long around each other, so, they have to keep seeing each other across the table, so I can understand why she wanted to cut the tension, but she used her voice, I guess, but all the women were watching this back and forth. Lou, very entertained. Luann thought this was better than Broadway.
I figured it out tonight with Luann when they were having like a little moment about Dorinda, and Luann was just brushing her off while throwing digs at Ramona. And I think Luann has just given up. She's just given up with Ramona. Like, I will never get from Ramona the respect that I deserve. But I'm also not going to go after her. Like, she's not, you know what I mean? She's just too petty. But
Ramona will never change. I've said this so many times on this rundown too. She's watched herself now for over 10 years. She's not taking any stock in what people are saying about her and doing any self-reflection.
And I think the more quickly everyone realizes it, the easier it is for, to handle her, because I really feel like Luann is just completely numb to Ramona. The way she was dismissing her tonight. I don't know. Luann's just Luann used to be like my all-time favorite. She's seriously trying to shake that title off because the way she's acting the last couple of years,
15
it's
minutes.
insane. The cabaret show is ridiculous. You know, me and you went together.
We did, and I'm so sick of the cabaret. I can't tell you. I'm so exhausted from hearing about it. Now this F, marry, kill. You know, the auditioning of the comedians. I mean, but in her next breath, she only works with top Broadway talent. Well, that's not who we saw at the Yotel on 44th Street or wherever the hell it is. Which
it's not.
I love the Yotel, but I mean, I'm saying it's, you know, it's not exactly, you know, where, you know, auditioning, you know, the best of the Great White Way. I don't even know, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous. So Ramona says that Dorinda is durational. She's trying to make something work, like for a T-shirt or for a mug. It's not happening. Let's not try it. Lian calls Dorinda's toast at that Halloween party mean, which it was. And, you know, basically now they all feel like Lian is defending Ramona. But no, I agree with Lou. I think you can say, yes, Ramona's an idiot. We all know this. But also that toast that Dorinda made, not Ramona, was also mean. It was mean-spirited. Was it entertaining? Yes. But it wasn't nice? No.
But I have an opinion about it because you know what? I think Lian was totally in the right to call her out and tell her, like, you know what? You were mean. Like, you were not being nice. But I don't think this was the actual event to do it for. Because the speech wasn't even as volatile as her behavior the last freaking 10 episodes. Like,
to Tinsley,
like the apple or the way she treated Tinsley, like, that's when you should have been called out. That's when you should, like, the way she was acting at the party, like several parties in that freaking jumpsuit, acting like a maniac. That's when she should have been called out. She was acting like a controlled freaking drunk psychopath at this freaking occasion. And then you want to be like, oh, you were being mean. Oh, now you're being mean. How about you've been mean for a long time, girl? And we can't say any type of truth to you because you will go crazy and bite our heads off, like Leah said.
Yeah, and I mean, even Ramona just said, like, are you drunk? You're drunk. Like, I mean, she didn't say, like, you're a drunk or, you know, get the hell away from me, you're a loser or anything like that. No, instead we see Lou call somebody else worthless later in the episode. I mean, it's just like I mean, I don't, that exchange, I don't know why what I'm saying is why was Dorinda so ticked off by Ramona asking if she was drunk? I mean,
Ramona
it's
wasn't
not the
wrong, though. Once again, she wasn't wrong. Lou was fucking, I mean, Dorinda was 5 sheets to the wind.
She usually is. It's not a question that's like, you know, like, oh, that would never happen. You know, it's one thing if they said, are you high on crystal meth? It would be like, wait, hold on, wait, what? But like, this was like, Dorinda's drunk again. Like, okay.
Are you giving an homage to Brandy?
Oh, God, yes. Why not?
At least I'm not doing crystal meth in the bathroom, bitch.
All night. So,
follow Hollywood Lian for more of that.
So then they laugh and they hug. Ramona and Elise are fine. I don't really know. I would not be, but whatever. Dorinda now recommends that Ramona, she just says, you know, you just need to be peaceful now. You just need to take to the peaceful route. Oh, yeah, like we've seen Dorinda be so peaceful. She's the one to talk, you know, it's ridiculous. Then
Dorinda's drunk again.
Yeah, she's like, that Joe Farrow party, you're not going to meet anyone there. You're not going to meet anyone at that party. She can't stop talking about that Hamptons party. I don't know what it was. I don't think it was that worthy of discussion. But apparently Ramona did meet 2 eligible men through the party. So, you know, okay.
When are we going to actually start talking about, I mean, I am not about any type of social dating shaming or even slut shaming because, honey, I've done the legwork, trust me. But like, are we ever going to talk about Ramona maybe just taking a chill pill on it, or maybe just not be so discreet about it? Like, I'm kind of over like this 6-year-old lady hitting on everybody at the bar, because it would be different if everybody was receptive to it. But we've seen in the last couple episodes, most of the times the guys are confused and annoyed. Like,
yeah, I mean, in Rhode Island.
It didn't even work for Leah. Like, Leah couldn't even kind of bag a guy at the bar. The guys are looking at these women like, you guys are drunk and annoying. Get away from us. So, I don't know. I'm just like kind of tired of Ramona and her vodka sodas that are really tall in a wine glass.
Oh God, so tacky. I'm not that I'm interested in running into this topic, but we are almost at time, so we got to run into the topic of the cabaret and Luann recruiting Sonia to make an appearance. Sonia was only paid $225. That didn't cover hair and makeup. And, Ramona says she's the one that starts to stir the pot by saying, Luann, you need to pay for her. You need to pay her. So this pisses off Luann because now Sonia says that she just wants to exploit her. So, yep, Luann's storming through the house just like she did last year, which was like, I am not going to sleep in the fish room. She's got the same energy running through the house. I don't know where she's going to go.
Exactly. It's almost fake. Don't you think it's almost fake? It's like,
it
are you
could
that
be.
upset?
I hate to think of it as being fake because I just like to think that this show is the only one that's real. But I mean, it could be.
Well, it's like, how can you get mad at Sonia for being drunk and passive aggressive? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's even though what she's saying is true, she's mad about not being compensated, for her worth. Because let's be real, Luann has made a lot of money off this cabaret.
Hell
And
yeah.
Grant and I have been to it, and let me just tell you, we went when it first started, and it was still $100, and we
Yeah.
still spent money. We still spent money at the venue. So this lady's making money. So the fact that you're gonna have Sonia on one time, you can't throw her like a good rate for the day, like at least like the SAG rate for like an entertainer for the day. Like we all have a rate.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And Lian and I probably spent $225 that one night that we went together. Like, I mean, times that by how many cities and shows she's done since then. I mean, they can give her a decent rate. That sucks.
And it's terrible. The show's terrible.
Oh, please.
Luann sings like 4 songs, and the rest is just drag queens and gays talking the whole time. And like you could see that at a bar. Like it got so annoying at one point. Me and Grant didn't even know who was talking at one point. There were so many queens and gays talking. It was like a brunch festival.
Luann was nowhere to be found, by the way. And then Luann would disagree. She says she has top comics. So we didn't see them, and I saw the show twice. I didn't see a top comic of either of them, but okay. She says though, this is true Luann. She says about Sonia. She says she thinks she's going to be the star of my show. So see, Luann just doesn't want to be upstaged. That's what it comes down to. It's not even about payment. She doesn't want Sonia to get too comfortable with being a part of the cabaret.
So rude, and so stupid, and so petty. Like. Honestly, if Sonia was at the show that me and you saw, it would have been 10 times better.
Oh my God, I could have only wished. We were desperate.
Like, Luann, you're asking Sonia to be in the show because she's a great element. So stop downplaying her and let her throw some shade at you. Whatever. Don't take yourself so seriously.
She's just going to come on again and cheapen it. She's going to take her clothes off. Well, are you in the same joke that you've made?
She's such a bitch for that.
You loved that when it happened. I think it's like a joke in the show. So
honestly, the best thing you could do is not take yourself seriously, not to be so cliche, but they're cliche for a reason because it's true. And we're trying to drum it in your head. Like, don't take yourself so seriously. Like, you're a freaking housewife touring the country, singing 4 songs, and 2 of them are club songs that you can't even stay on beat to.
I mean, she's lucky that she had like a handful of shows in a handful of cities. I think that would have been a success right there. But she's supposed to keep scaling this. I don't know what more she could possibly do with it. I think at some point the audience will run dry because it is expensive. It's a commitment. You're only going to get so many curious people, especially now the climate we're in, that are going to actually show up. So, I mean, who knows? I don't wish her like a cancellation, but like she's got to reel it in, like you said, the ego, she's got to be a little more humble here.
Yeah, like go ahead and run it dry, girl. That's what people do. Like we find something that works, beat it to death. It's the Hollywood way, but at least have some fun with it. Don't take it so serious. If I were you, I would be inviting everybody on the show because I'd be like, girl, I'm only singing 4 times. Like, come on and lift your dress. Please show your boobs, someone. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Sonya has done the cabaret performance in the past. I'm very entertained by it. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. So go ahead. Instead, she calls Sonya worthless in this episode. Now
that was rude.
All while Dorinda is yelling, and everyone's drunk at this point, but Dorinda's yelling in Sonya's face that she's weak, and you're such a weakling that I'm the one that's going to have to go in and be strong for you because you're so weak. And then Lou storms into the room calling her worthless, and that's how the show ends. I mean, with friends like that, I'm really surprised in Lian. I really am.
I am Leah the whole time. Like, her facial expressions while all this was happening, Dorinda's a freaking maniac. She's like, do you want me to stick up for you? Do you want me to stick up for you? I'm like, what is happening? Once again, like, when I have to turn around and ask myself and the dog, because she's the only one watching, like, what is happening right now? Why? Like, Dorinda was out of control drunk. Kind of funny, kind of not. But Luann, to get so dirty and evil when, like, everyone is 80% drunk and 20% serious, like, you could laugh this off and be like, all right, I'll throw you another $10. You happy now? Like, it just really didn't have to go there. But I know if we're going to go there, we're going to go there, whatever.
Please. I mean, Ben Rimmelauer, who's been on this podcast, he's the one who runs that show. He's the one who's worried about the budget. Luann doesn't have a clue what a rental fee is. She doesn't know what it costs to be able to bring on a potted plant. So, I mean, the fact that she's talking about budget is laughable. She's not producing that show. It's so you said, ridiculous.
Absolutely not. He's probably making some good money off of her.
I'm sure.
Good and good exposure. Like, look, I could produce a show, and I have a little Broadway background. That'll help in New York. So good for Ben. Good for you, Ben.
Him. Yeah, like I said, beat it dead horse.
Final thoughts.
Let's get into our final thoughts here. My final thought is that this was about as I expected. I'm glad we got to see a lot of the house, the newly renovated house, which looks a little bit like how I remember it and a little bit different with just some scatter rugs added in. I'm curious to know what's going to happen next, because it just seems like it's going to be like argument after argument, and then Heather Thompson shows up. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, my God. Final thoughts is I am so excited for Heather to come in. Like, this... That's how you know we've gotten to a whole different level with Bravo, even personally, Bravo perspectives. Like, you would never hear me be excited about freaking Heather. But right now, I'm like, holla, come over here, mama, because we need a shakeup. So honestly, I'm excited for Heather. And I just wanted to get fun again, you guys. Like, with everything that we're dealing with, like, everything seems so petty right now. And I just want us to have fun. And I think Leah is a fresh breath of air, and she's controlled. She's like, I could turn up right now, but I'll break everything. So I'm just like, I want her to kind of lose it all the way, because I know she has before. I think we need to see all the layers of this onion. I'm happy she's on.
Very happy with her. I fear where we would be if we didn't have her, but at the same time, I'm of the school of, like, the worst episode of New York is still the best episode of other series. So, like, I'm still celebrating the show, but Leah is kind of a hope, I think, for many of us as to what this show could be next.
Absolutely. You're totally right. RHONY is still the best franchise, and it's because the friendships are real and they make us laugh. Sonia Morgan is a national freaking treasure, and she is, like, just hilarious comedy, gold.
Mm-hmm. And my final thought, just add into this conversation, is I'm not going to be swayed by memes that say this, RHONY is having a tough year, or the worst season ever. I'm not going to be swayed by that. No, because people have been celebrating this show. I'm not going to be swayed by a meme. So, the break was tough. now we're back, and I'm still here for it. I'm still enjoying it. And you know what? I watched another show on Bravo that's also Real Housewives, and you can guess which one. And I am waiting for that show by the clock to be over. And I do not watch the clock when I watch New York Housewives because I enjoy it from beginning, middle, and to end. And that's quality and entertainment value for me. So I'm still here for New York.
Yes. And you guys should be here for that kind of rant right there. That's real right there. You're not going to get that from a freaking meme. So
nope.
As you guys are scrolling through Instagram, just always remember the freaking founders of original Bravo commentary, Grant Rudder, Hollywood Lian. We're always going to keep it real. Really,
only real.
You know what? I'm in a transitional phase. I had my own little podcast. You can follow the Instagram on it. It's Bravo Betch, BETCH podcast. It's Bravo Betch podcast. Or you can just follow my personal account because that's where the real shenanigans are. New projects coming up, and that's Hollywood Lian, Lian, as in Nancy. It's my favorite day of the week. Thank you so much, Grant, for having me on. True professional, true authentic, one of the best in the biz.
Oh, thanks, Lian. Feeling is mutual. We're good. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
This has been Grant's Rant Small Talk. Real Housewives of New York City Rundown. Want more? Join the full conversation on Grant's Rant Hollywood Talk podcast.